mayoral candidate Dexter Fisher. Round of applause. Thank you.
If you become mayor of Athens, will you make it a sanctuary city, or will you facilitate the work of ICE, a federal entity?
Unfortunately, we do not have any control if ICE comes into our community.
Mr. Fisher, I can't but notice you have a nice beard. No?
Thank you.
Also, Mr. Denson, your opponent, has a nice beard. How do you guys do that?
And a lot of people like the beard.
Yeah? As soon as you lose your hair, you need to have a good beard.
I'm bald.
JD Vance and Erika Kirk.
Right.
I mean, it's really crazy for our town.
Do I agree with the politics? No, but at the same time, people have a right to speak whatever they speak.
Drusky made a video where he white faces to become Erika Kirk.
I have no idea who he is.
He's like the mayor of social media.
Okay.
What would you be willing to give up to become mayor?
Wow.
Would you shave your beard?
I'll shave the beard. I'll shave that's a good. I'll shave the beard.
So times are changing, Bex, and
they are.
Communication changes, and politics change. In fact, for the first time in a bar in Athens, a live podcast, we have a politician coming on. And let me tell you who he is. Today's guest is a commissioner of District 5 and Mayor Pro Tem of Athens, Clark County. He cares for public safety, youth opportunity, and fiscal responsibility. With 40 years of service for the community of Athens, ladies and gentlemen, mayoral candidate Dexter Fisher. Round of applause. Thank you.
Dexter Fisher.
Thank you for coming on. Did you expect this was going to happen at the beginning of your campaign, Mr. Fisher?
I did not. I did not expect this. This is great. Thank you guys for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to reach a larger audience and a younger audience. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're really happy to have you on. I'm going to be honest, we don't have a ton of experience interviewing politicians. Mostly we do football players, comedians, local characters,
Okay.
Just people who you see in the middle of it, like just walking around the street. So you're probably our most, I'd say, established guest.
Okay,
It's
well,
fair to say.
Well, the football thing I can relate to because I played college football, so I can get into that.
Okay, well, maybe we'll ask some football questions.
That'd be great. Be great.
But I guess just to start, we think you're very cool. You're meeting us at a bar. I think that's a testament to your coolness. We do our research, though. We found out you do not drink.
I do not drink.
See, your opponent, Tim Denson, does drink. So how do you think it is going to be running up against someone who, maybe is even cooler than you are?
Well, to each his own. I mean, and the reason I don't drink, my father was an alcoholic, and and I'm an open book guy, so we can talk about anything. But
cool.
And although he wasn't a part of my life, but I saw how alcohol destroyed his life, so I just made up in my mind that I would not partake. Now I have. Now when I was in college, I partake.
Your college times. College time.
I had a good time.
A little bit of fun.
Yeah, I had a good time. But as I got older and became more responsible, I just decided I was not going to do alcohol. So yeah.
Well, there's phases of life, and of course, everybody has a different interest in this city. But if you could solve one problem in Athens, snapping your fingers, what would that problem be?
That every child in this community be educated, have a job, and go on and do great things.
I understand. Education at the center of your program. That is the most important thing.
Most important. I mean, when you got education, can't nobody take that away. And it open up so many doors and so many opportunities.
Yeah, I understand. And of course, there's a lot of differences still in the United States. I speak as an Italian American, but there's a lot of difference still between private and public school. And maybe we can level a little bit that difference and make sure kids in public school get a great level of education that'll lead them to great results.
I agree, but all my kids, Carlos and his two sisters, graduated from the public school system in Clark County and done great. My wife taught 30 years in the Clark County School District, so I'm a champion of the Clark County School District. Yes, we have some issues, but I know we can always do better. So I'm always going to push public education in this community.
I understand.
How important do you think public education is to kind of reduce delinquency? We understand that's one of the main talking points of your campaign, reducing delinquency, kind of. And I think in order to do that, we need to put more resources towards education, more social programs for youth, that sort of thing. Do you have anything concrete in mind that you'd like to implement as mayor?
I think one of the things, and of course, our government don't control the school system. Now, in some cities, the county government or government controls the school system. Here, they got their own board, their own system. So we work with them and we partner with them. So I look at it as more of a partnership. To me, I would say we need more mentors in our schools to work with our young people, more role models to really show them that there are other things besides Athens, Clark County. There's such a world out there that I would love to see them to explore, to make sure, and if they do leave and come back, to give them an opportunity to bring something back, what they learned while they was out into the world. So,
I understand. You're a very practical man, but I want to bring it more on the hypothetical.
Okay.
Right? If you become mayor, there's going to be challenges that rise in the path.
Right.
One of them could be an alien comes down to Athens. An alien comes down to Athens. What do you do as mayor, and how do you want Athenians to behave with this alien?
Well, if an alien came down to Athens, this community is so open. So we will open this community up with open arms, welcome this alien in and say, hey, how can we help you? Or else, how can you help us? What do you bring to the table to make our community a lot better? So I will welcome anybody from anywhere that will come into this community and want to be a part of this community.
Are there certain aliens that you're looking forward more to work with?
Nah, aliens come in all shapes and sizes. So who's to say? Who's to say?
Also, maybe if you become mayor, they'll tell you if aliens exist or not. Is that part of the job?
Yeah, well, then we need to find other worlds out there, other aliens out there that we need to explore and find out, and maybe they can bring some ideas to the community to help us out. So yeah.
So just so we're all clear, Dexter Fisher's position on aliens. So we're going around the moon right now. Artemis 2 comes back, aliens on board, comes back to Athens. He's one of us now. We're gonna chill with him.
Wow. So I've seen that movie before. I forgot the name of the movie. Species. Remember when they went out? Some astronauts went out and brought the alien back. So hey, I hope that doesn't happen. But if an alien,
you gotta be prepared for everything.
Yeah, right. You gotta be prepared. As a mayor, you do have to be prepared for everything.
Yeah, of course.
That's actually a pretty good segue. We wanted to combine, that with maybe a more serious question. If you become mayor of Athens, will you make it a sanctuary city, or will you facilitate the work of ICE, a federal entity?
So first of all, we're not a sanctuary city. Never have been a sanctuary city. And this came up at one of our forums. So unfortunately, we do not have any control if ICE comes into our community. They don't coordinate with our local agencies. So if ICE comes in, we have no control. So
I'm thinking bureaucratically, wouldn't you be able to slow them down?
Actually, we can't. I mean, we literally can't. If they come in and do a sweep, there's nothing we can do. That's on the federal level. So locally and statewide, there's nothing we can do. Our hands are tied.
I understand.
Truly tied.
I understand. So there's really, you're saying there's not much you can do, and if there's any other candidate that says they can,
they can't.
It's not true.
It's not true.
It's not true.
Okay. Or you go to jail.
Yeah. Mr. Fisher, I can't but notice you have a nice beard. No?
Thank you.
Also, Mr. Denson, your opponent, has a nice beard. How do you guys do that?
I keep
look at me and him. How do you guys do that?
Well, I used to be clean shaven, but as I gotten older, I started growing the beard, and a lot of people like the beard. So I've been sporting this beard now for the last 15, 20 years. So
They say it's the number one step. As soon as you lose your hair, every young man deals with it. As soon as you lose your hair, you need to have a good beard. You need to have a good beard.
I'm bald.
But the beard totally compensates for
it. It works.
Yeah.
But I like the beard. I get it trimmed every other week. Keep it groomed. I got a great barber, and does a great job.
Who's your barber?
My barber name is Key Man.
Where does he work?
He's at Sheets Beauty and Barber.
Okay.
Yeah. So he does a great job.
Okay. I'll take that into consideration as soon as I lose my hair.
Now I shave my old head. I shave my own head myself, so I do that. But he takes care of the beard.
You want to own that?
Yeah, I'm gonna own that. I shave my own head, so
Okay.
He's about to see an insane increase in business because this clip is going to be online.
She's Beauty and Barber, so
Hell yeah, shout out. Let's see. So one of the main talking points of your campaign is to, we talked about delinquency, cracking down on that, educational programs, and there's an RTCC surveillance building. Could you please explain a bit what that is?
Say that again now. What's
The
RTC, the Real-Time Crime Center.
Real-Time Crime Center.
That was part of our budget last year. Well, initially when the Real-Time Crime Center came up, the mayor did not put it in his budget. As the mayor pro tem, one of the things that happens, the mayor gets the budget, then the budget comes to the commissioners. So it was not funded fully like it should have been funded. So I got my colleagues, we got together, I said we need to fund this Real-Time Crime Center because it will help us with crime, not only downtown, at UGA, around our community, and it really has been a game changer when it comes to crime.
But why do you think it's so controversial? I think like right and left wing, everybody feels strongly about it,
Right.
and I wonder, you talk to everybody in town, why do you think everybody feels so strongly about it?
I think, first of all, anytime you can cut down on crime in a community, that's a plus. You know, it's 40,000 students at the University of Georgia. There's 130,000 people in this community. My number one priority is to make sure that everybody that comes, visit, live here is safe. That's important to me. That's what the Real-Time Crime Center has brought. As you all know, we had a rape and an assault on 2 females. Within 24 hours, both of those individuals captured and off the street. We had a major shooting where 2 people lost their lives.
Yeah.
Within 48 hours, that guy was captured because of the Real-Time Crime Center, because of the surveillance that's downtown. Now, everybody talk about Big Brother is watching. Well, I disagree with that because all of us got some type of security system at our house.
Yeah.
And we want to be protective of that. So
Well, I don't, just because I'm a college student and I can't afford it.
Yeah. But you do have security on our campus, and I love the partnership that the city and University of Georgia has together, and to me that's important. When visitors come here, when our residents that live here, when our students come in for 4 or 5 years, when their parents send them away, and I thought about when I went off to college, one thing my mom always talked about was, I want you to be safe. So when parents send their children to this community, I want them to feel that they can be safe. The same thing with the residents that live here. I want them to feel safe. And I want to be able to solve crime when crime happens.
Now I'm thinking, what if we had like a superhero taking care of business? Because I would like for you, if you become mayor, to have a good relationship with this potential superhero if he comes in town. Because I've seen like how Spider-Man and the New York mayor deal with each other, and I don't like that. I'm against it.
Okay.
I want you to know that.
Okay, you against that? Well, we don't know this. The superheroes now is the people in this community. That's the superheroes that I would depend on. Those are superheroes that I believe in.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking.
That's a good answer.
A lot of talk about the RTCC. We're like, what if maybe we just had like a bunch of vigilante superheroes around town? But that'd be not a good idea.
It's not,
Not a good idea.
You know, and I think what's happening. I always talk to the chief about this.
Yeah.
One of the things about policing, and that what I want our officers to do as we move forward, to get out of their patrol cars, to go and visit the community that they're patrolling, get to know the residents that live there, develop relationships with those individuals and with that community. And that way, when crime do happen, there's a trust factor there that they can work with the police department and help them solve crimes, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And Athens, Memphis was the first city in the United States to build an RTCC center. And Athens just did theirs.
Just did, yeah.
So how much more do we need to do to become a wonderful, glorious city like Memphis?
Well, I think one of the things you got to look at is just because we got the Real-Time Crime Center, the police officers still have to do the work. I mean, it doesn't solve the problem. That's why I say it's so important that our officers get out of their cars, go and meet with the people that live in those communities, and start developing relationships. Let me tell y'all a quick story.
Yeah, please.
One of my areas in District 5, officer was riding around. He saw some kids playing basketball. Well, the goal was very, very, the goal wasn't, it was a raggedy goal. He went out with his own money and purchased a brand new basketball goal, took it to that community, put it up, got with those kids. That's what I call community policing. So now he's got a relationship not only with those young people, but the people that live there. And you can't buy that nowhere. Didn't nobody tell him to do that. He did it on his own, and those are the type of officers that we have in this community.
I would be able just right now to think of some negative moments in which policing from citizens has happened. I'm thinking when UGA classes were interrupted with some vigilante.
Right.
I see your positive view on it. Of course, there's always two
There's a balance,
aspects.
right? In every organization, you got some bad apples. I mean, that's just part of the equation. But again, I think our chief is very intentional about hiring men and women, not only that are good officers, but also reflect the racial makeup of those communities. So to me, I think that's important. Those are some of the things that he look at when he's trying to, when he goes to the academy, he's trying to hire cadets that's going to come to work. So I think we have to be intentional about the officers that we hire in the community that they serve. So to me, that's
interesting.
important.
You said you want the officers to reflect the racial makeup of the community?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it should. I'm gonna keep it real. You don't probably want to send too many white officers into a predominantly African American community. I think, especially, and again, don't get me wrong, they could do that, but I think a lot of times officers may have a better relationship than people that look like that in the community.
By the way, you would be the first African American mayor of Athens.
In the history of this town.
In the history of Athens, which is surprising for a liberal city like Athens. It's not something I would have guessed.
Yeah. Well, I think the time is right. I'm the right man at the right time for the job. So the time is right. And for me, this has been my calling. Mm-hmm. I'm a civil rights baby. I grew up in the 60s. You guys probably don't know a whole lot about the civil rights movement, but I grew up in the 60s when that was turbulent time in this country.
Massimo's country was recovering from World War II.
Yeah. But that was during the 60s. But we at the time that integration was being put into place, and a lot of people didn't want people that looked like me to go to school with them. But I had a mom though that believed that she could work with anybody, and she was part of a parent group that when we integrated the school in my community, that she made sure that when we went in those schools, first of all, everybody felt safe. But at the same time that we were going to have the parents there, both black and white, was going to support the students in those schools. So I saw firsthand what my mom did, and I knew then that I had the know-how how to work with people. And I work with people all over the world. My 30 years working with the University of Georgia, working with people from all around the world, and it gave me a really good insight about how you deal with people that's different from you, and also at the same time how you can work together to get things done. So that was important to me.
Yeah, people are changing, times are changing.
They are.
There's different problems for each time. There's one problem that my co-host Bex has solved.
Okay.
You know how difficult it is right now for young people to find a job? It is really difficult.
Very difficult.
Okay?
Very
it is very difficult. Bex had the great idea
Thank you.
to write his resume on his T-shirt.
Yeah, see, I feel like, everything nowadays is you have to always be searching for new opportunities, right? There's never a minute to rest.
Yeah.
You should always be networking. And I'm so serious about it, actually. It's a joke company. But
Do you want to show your T-shirt?
Show your T-shirt.
You have to.
Because I tell you what,
The back of it is the...
if I was looking to hire somebody and his creativity, I would hire this guy.
Yeah,
You got it. Your T-shirt's got endorsed by
it's got my
Mr. Fisher.
resume on the back. If you
Turn
want to
around
take a
all
look.
the way. Turn around all the way. No, stand up and turn around so they
I'm
can
not
see
going to
it.
stand up for you. I'm not going to turn around for you.
But
I want them to see it. It's a great T-shirt.
Thank you.
It is a great T-shirt. And think about the creativity though, to do that and to walk around and say, I got my resume on my T-shirt. Who does that? Great idea, man.
We have this lot in common. We both are wearing our names right now.
Yeah.
Dexter Fisher.
Dexter Fisher, man. Yeah.
I'm so out of place.
But that's great. That's wonderful. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. I love young people. Anytime I get the opportunity to have a conversation or audience with young people, I'm gonna do that. I'm so glad you guys reached out to Christy, who's part of my campaign team, and thank you for reaching out to us. I just think it's just so wonderful that we have these good conversations. And I'm an age myself. I'm 67 years old, but I love young people, and I really know.
It's the wrong year to be 67.
I know, but hey,
young people love that number. It works out.
but you know,
It's the worst year in the world to be 67.
but you know.
If I were 67, I would hate young people.
Oh no, that's totally opposite for me. Every opportunity that I get to get an audience with young people, I'm gonna take advantage of.
Good.
Yeah.
You want to get into the next topic
Yeah.
next?
All right, sure. Let's see. We were going to talk about another problem that I
Okay.
have. Not just getting a job, I'm working on it, but parking. So recently,
wow.
this is like one of the hardest ones I feel like Mayor of Athens has probably asked, parking.
Okay.
Recently, the Globe made like an Instagram post talking about how parking prices downtown were kind of like squeezing out the workforce. That people who were working at bars were paying a lot for parking, and their wages weren't covering it fairly. Do you have any plans to kind of quell this problem, or what do you think about like parking downtown Athens, especially because it's such an important part of our economy?
It is
Could parking downtown Athens ever be free? Is there a possibility for parking in downtown Athens to be free?
Well, if you did that, what would happen is people would park their car all day and never leave. That will hurt the small businesses that depend on you guys in this community to come down and do business with them. Now, I do have an idea. Y'all may not like this idea I got. So one of the conversations that I've been having with the University of Georgia is not let freshmen bring cars their first year. And the reason I say that is because you have to live on campus as a freshman.
Yeah.
Both of y'all have
Yes.
to live on, yeah. So you got your food service there. You got your classes there. You can get around anywhere in this community on the bus. So why do you need a car? So that's sort of, and we have
My only argument to that is that at night when we like to go downtown, because you said you like to have a little bit of fun in college. We like to have a little bit of fun.
But you
in
can
college.
walk.
But it depends where you live. If you're a
Well,
freshman, yes.
yeah,
If
you
you're a
can walk.
freshman,
Yeah.
but I'm talking about me, a senior. I
Okay.
live around
Where you live at?
5 Points.
Okay, well, hey, you Uber.
I Uber. I
Okay,
do.
all right.
Roy drinks and drives. He doesn't want to.
No. Please don't drink it. I hate how you have to call me.
This guy.
Hey, I hate you have to call me for me to get you out of jail. Don't do that.
That's what my
you're a
grandma
great-
tells me every time, actually.
You're a great
She tells me,
connection to know.
my grandmother talked to me, please, Max, if you end in jail, don't give me a call.
But no, I think parking, it is an issue. On the real side, Clark County is the smallest geographical county in the state of Georgia. We got 159 counties. We're the smallest.
Yeah.
So from a land mass, even if we built more parking, we still can support all the cars here. So we got to come up with some creative things to do when it comes to parking. And again, I think one of my ideas is if we can take 1,000 to 1,500 cars off the street of Athens.
Oh, that would be
for a
great.
year.
But we need to make the bus lines get over all parts of the city. I
Okay.
think that's one of the big...
Okay, another thing, we'll talk about already expanding the bus line. I think it's important. And maybe not only expanding it, starting it earlier and extending it later at night.
That'd be useful.
So I think it's very useful. And so for me, I think everything is on the table. I think I really want to continue to have that conversation with UGA about freshmen not having cars.
Now, in fact, in regards to that, you said you're the candidate that has the closest relationships with UGA representatives.
I do.
Moorhead than others.
Yes.
How do you plan specifically to work with UGA to make Athens better? What do you have something in mind specifically where UGA and Athens come together to do something great?
Well, let me tell y'all a little story. Back in 1996, when we had the Olympics, I happened to be on the local Olympic committee. Probably one of the best town and gown relationship was during the Olympic time, where we came together as a community, UGA, as Clark County government, and we came together because we were having people come from all over the world. We had our parking, we had hotels, we had security. It was a great, great working relationship. For me, from day one, because I do have a relationship with President Moorhead, those type of conversations needs to go forward. For example, they got so many expertise over there. They can bring some of those expertise to our community and to our government to help us solve some of the issues, like housing, like homelessness, like our infrastructure. Those type of things, we need to partner together to make things happen. So I'll be having those type of conversations. We got too many smart people that go to school, students, too many administrators that know how to get things done. And I want to bring that collaboration together. And from day one, that will happen with me being the next mayor of Athens.
I ran into Mr. Moorhead. Yeah, applause break. Hell yeah. My story's not as cool. I was going to say I ran into Mr. Moorhead the other day, and I waved at him, and I startled him. He was scared. I was like, Mr. Moorhead! And he was like, what? And I was like, that was kind of it.
But I have a really great relationship with him. But not only him, with his executive team. And to me, I think that's important.
What's something that people don't know about Mr. Moorhead?
I couldn't tell you that. But let me say that he's
Somebody here in the crowd knows.
Yeah. No, but he's a great president. I think he has really, for one thing, he loved the University of Georgia. You know, he went to school here, law school, and most of his career has been, so he loved that university. And my hat's off to him for what he does, and I like the relationship that me and him have. So I think he's done some really great things.
So far, I don't have anything against it. Maybe the choice of glasses that he wears. Maybe we can work on that a little bit. Maybe we'll have him here one day, and we'll have a selection of glasses to wear, and he'll pick the nicer one. But Bex, you had the...
Oh, sure. Yeah, so it's actually a very big time for Athens politically. Obviously, there's the mayoral election on May 19th.
Right.
But we have two very famous figures coming to Athens next week. You know about this?
Yeah.
JD Vance and Erika Kirk.
Right.
I mean, it's really crazy for our town. What do you think it's going to look like when they're here?
Actually, I had a conversation with the chief and the county manager today. You know, all our resources, they've been working with the Secret Service. And again, you know, it's freedom of speech. People have the right to come to anywhere in America. That's what I love about this country. You know, you have a right of freedom of speech. And so they're coming here. Our community is ready. Chief said they're ready. They're working really good from a security standpoint, what needs to happen. So it's going to be big time. Y'all don't remember this, but back in the when Al Gore was running for vice president, he came to town, and actually he was at UGA. So again, along with UGA, with State Patrol, with the Secret Service, our community is ready. But at the same time, you know, anybody can come, say what they gotta say because there's the freedom of speech.
Yeah.
So So I'm not gonna be critical of people coming here to speak. So that's not my role. Like I said earlier, what we talked about, you know, our community is just so welcoming and open to everybody. So now, do I agree with the politics? No, but at the same time, people have a right, to speak whatever they speak.
I don't know if you saw it. It became pretty viral on social media. Drusky, comedian, made a video where he white faces to become Erika Kirk.
I did not see that.
You did not see that?
I did not see that.
You know who Drusky is?
I have no idea who he is.
He's like the mayor of social media.
Okay.
It was very funny. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we would put him as like a police officer in like a different neighborhood, but
he could pass security test.
No. But yeah, no, it's going to be interesting. We're talking about maybe going to the event and asking some questions. So,
okay. Well,
if you could ask JD Vance something, what would you ask him? Maybe we'll pass it on.
I would love to ask them, how can we stop the war? What's going on around the country in the Middle East? You know, how can we do that? You know, how can we stop people losing their lives? We had soldiers who have lost their lives and stuff. So I would ask, how can we stop that? How can we negotiate that truth with Iran and get those things done? And that would be my question. How can we make that happen?
I understand. And I mean, it's been a tense moment in the country, and I'm talking about different layers of society. Part of society we don't get to talk as much, I think, here in Athens as well, and they're very, very important to keep it so different and energized and culturally relevant are the international students. In a moment in the United States where the international students are meant to feel unwelcome, unfortunately, what is something we can do to not make that happen?
I think, one thing, and again, I think each administration is different. I think international students have came.
I was speaking specifically here in Athens.
Okay, well, I think for us, okay, thank you for clearing. For us, and like I said earlier, we need to make sure that they feel safe, and they feel welcome. I think, again, this community, let me tell y'all something. And although I'm not an international student, but when I moved here 38 years ago, this community took me in. And what I've seen of this community, Athens have always taken in people from outside. So I applaud the people that live here. I applaud the people at UGA. I applaud our local government. We have always been open arms with international students. And UGA does a really good job of recruiting international. And sometimes those students end up staying here.
And they don't bring cars with them, hopefully.
Well, the thing I'm mostly worried about that they're struggling with is dealing with the visa process.
Okay.
They really struggle to get informed on what the visa process is. It's very confusing, and I think they would need mentors or lawyers or somebody who's an expert in it to guide them. And another problem they have is, of course, they don't use cars, but you're saying if the transportation will also improve in Athens, that will be something that will be taken care of. To me, it's the visa process. I feel like we're leaving them alone. I feel like we're not doing enough for them.
Okay. And that may be the case, but let me say something about the visa issue. That probably has been an issue though for years. This is just not coming up. So how we do the visa issue.
Right.
I think it needs to be simplified. I think people need to be able to understand the visa process, and we need to be able to help them in this country to get that process done so they can come and work or be a student or whatever. So we have to simplify things. Sometimes I think these things ain't brain surgery. You got to understand what we're trying to do. You know, people want to come to this country because there's opportunity here. And we should always be open to let people come in and and really take advantage of the opportunities that are here.
Would you be willing to take into consideration city job board for international students?
City
Job board?
Sure, yeah. I think if we had the opportunity, we had jobs that they would qualify for, would love that. I think
Because they're going to give back to the community.
Oh, for sure.
They're going to give back.
You're exactly. I agree with you 100%. For sure. For sure.
Housing.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big deal, guys.
Housing.
That is a big deal.
Man.
I mean,
Yeah,
go ahead.
So housing is kind of a problem here in Athens. I know there's like all these private real estate companies that are like buying up these older buildings, building these super new expensive apartments, making pricing everybody out. I think that probably contributes to the homelessness a little bit. Recently there was one of these private buildings, there were bats found in the buildings.
Bats?
And they had to remove, it was kind of a news story, they removed the bats, they didn't check the bats for rabies, that kind of thing. So I'm just wondering, like, maybe rather than getting more houses, maybe we need more houses for the bats.
Everybody's worrying about what's going to happen to these poor students. But what about the bats?
What about the bats?
What are we going to do to those little, they spread love and COVID and other things?
Yeah.
So, and that's unfortunate that happened. And I saw the story. Unfortunately, it happened. Now, what could happen, we do have a code enforcement department. Now, when code enforcement come knocking on your door, you do have to welcome them in. They're just not going to come in. But if somebody call code enforcement and find out that property has a problem with bats, code enforcement come in and cite them and make them fix that problem.
Yeah.
They can make them fix that problem. But a lot of times when people call code enforcement, they say, well, I don't want you to come in because they feel like they may get in trouble. People need to understand they do have tenant rights. That they just can't come and kick you out because you call code enforcement. You can't do that.
Yeah.
So I think you need to use some of the resources that we have here to make sure that, first of all, you have a clean building. You're not inundated with bats or rape.
Well, I got to talk to my roommate about that. He's not keeping it clean. He's not doing a good job.
Well,
we just had an argument.
Okay, well, you need to work on it. Or you need to kick him out.
Yeah.
But
I'll one of those superhero vigilantes that you were mentioning.
But no, I just think it's important that as students and as residents that's here, be able to use the resources we got with code enforcement, ask them to come in and say, hey, I got a problem. And whatever they see, they'll cite the property management and make sure it gets taken. And if it's not, and I've seen some area where they'll shut them down. Yeah. For sure. So, yeah.
But I think the only problem with housing in Athens is not only the bats. I think there were just 2 cases, which, we shouldn't make a bigger deal than it is, I think, in my opinion. But I think the problem partially is that UGA is accepting so many students, but they're not contributing to building as much housing to host these students, which increases the price of housing in Athens. And so it's really difficult and very hard to afford the living in Athens right now. I was looking, because I'm planning on maybe going to Atlanta next year, and some prices in the Virginia Island were cheaper than here in Athens.
Well, one thing, we're a college community. One of the things that, again, one of the conversations I have been having with UGA is them building more dorms, on campus. Right now, right down here on Lincoln Street, they're building a 565-bed dorm that should be completed before the fall. So I think one of the conversations that I will have with them is, how many more dorms can you build on your campus to house students? At the same time, and I tell people, a lot of times people get confused. People think UGA is buying up all the property. That's not the case. UGA only owns 5% of the land in Athens County. The developers are the ones that's buying up all the property. So, it's got to be a balance, guys. I think for me, we got to look at, and I'm telling you, the housing that's really missing is the missing middle. Young professionals that move here, they may be teachers, they may be firefighters, police officers, they may work in a plant. They're the ones that don't have enough housing, in my opinion, that we need. So for me, I want to push that agenda. And again, I mentioned earlier, we're landlocked. So whatever building or housing that we're going to do, we got to be smart about it and where we're going to put it.
Yeah, I had a light bulb go off in my head. I'm thinking about there's a homelessness problem in Athens. We have all these dorms. Let's put 2 and 2 together, guys. What if we just kept building more dorms? We could have a dorm houses thousands of people.
Yeah.
I think that's not even a crazy suggestion.
So
I'm thinking, can we give incentives to privates to build more housing so we can keep the cost lower?
We have what we call inclusionary zoning, where developers can come in, where they'll do some incentives, and they'll give some money back to our housing fund. But for me, two ways to deal with homelessness and the housing issue. And none of my opponents are talking about this. First of all, for me, I would pour more money into finding people jobs and economic development. That's how you get people off the streets, find them good paying jobs, and at the same time paying them enough jobs to be able to live here. So for me, that would be one of the things I would be pushing, job training and getting people employed. And I think that's real important. None of my opponents are talking about economic development. That's how you get rid of some of these things. When you pay people a great wage, give them a good job, and help them get promoted on their job. That's so many things. We got Miser Corporation. It's a biotech company. They're going to employ 1,700 people in this community.
Except me.
1,700. The starting salary is going to be $65,000. Those are the type of things that we need to be not only talking to our young people, but the people that live in this community. Those type of jobs that we need to be really trying to get people into those type of jobs. We're getting a brand new medical school, a brand new nursing school. So we're becoming a medical and a biotech community. Those are the type of things that get people out of poverty, you get people out of homelessness, and you get people into living spaces.
Now, what are we going to do about landlords? Because I gave my security deposit a while ago.
Okay.
A lot of friends of mine told me they haven't seen it. And I think a lot of times landlords are taking a little bit of advantage of students.
Okay.
And it's a problem that I've encountered talking to many of my friends, many of the people
Same here.
You've heard that too.
Yeah, so y'all will know, I meet with UGA students, I met with SGA, I meet with some of the senators, and one thing that surprised me, I met with 4 young ladies. All 4 of them.
At once?
Yeah, at once. All of them together, at once, yeah. All 4 of them, they roommates. All 4 of them pay different rents.
Oh, because one of them has a nice bathroom in it.
But that blew my mind. Why are all of them paying different rent? And what I said to them, you all got the power. So what I would do, if I was a student, if my roommate was paying $150,000 less than me, I would go to that property man and say, hey, why is my roommate paying $150 less than me? I want the same pricing.
So you think it should be the individual citizen taking care of business in their own hands.
And there's enough students that live in this community. If y'all was to form a partnership and talk about, because what some of the students have told me, they feel like it's bait and switch. Like, for example, you talked about your lease. Well, one student told me, they said, okay, I need you to sign your lease. She wasn't ready. And then they told her, if you don't sign the lease by the end of the week, it's going to go up $100. Well, again, I said, first of all, you need to let your parents know about this, but at the same time, you all got the power to control that, in my opinion.
But my house is in pretty good conditions. Outside of the fact that my roommate, it's a house.
Okay.
Outside of the fact that my roommate doesn't keep it in order, my house is in pretty good condition. I'm shaking thinking about that security deposit not coming back.
It may not come back. Sometime and again.
How do I step up against? I don't like to use the word against the landlord, but at that point when the situation is created where a landlord is asking me or has my money and there is no damage to the house, I don't have economically the situation where I can pay a lawyer to go and take care of the business.
So that's why, to me,
and I think I have a disadvantage compared to the landlord.
They do, but that's why you got legal aid, which is free. But at the same time, I think by word of mouth, you need to talk to people and say, hey, this particular piece of property, the landlord, they won't refund your deposit back. If they start losing, because this is about business, guys. If they start losing money and stuff, they'll step to the table and say, we can't do that. We're not going to take advantage of students. And again, because they think there is a market, no question. There's a market for students, but at the same time, you all truly have the power to control how landlords treat you guys.
It's super predatory. I think my favorite example is like the place I live. By the way, I do pay more rent than my roommates.
Okay,
Same thing.
Yeah.
I signed the lease like a week late.
Yeah.
And they're like, they fucked me over. But whatever. They also don't have a side. They also don't give us a sidewalk for some reason. But I think it's like it's so predatory. Like on Halloween, it's like October 31st. Hey, please come to our event. November 1st. Hey, rent is due, and if you don't pay it in 24 hours, we're gonna kick you out. Or like on
Well, no, that's against the law.
Yeah.
Now that's
I'm
true.
exaggerating a little bit.
I know, but that's against the law.
Yeah.
They cannot evict you in 24 hours. I mean, you get a notice, so they can't
That's good
evict
to
you.
know. That is good to know.
So don't let them threaten you that, hey, we're gonna kick you out. Not even in a week. There's a time. There's a tenant's rights. Y'all need to really be reading the tenant's rights. They just can't kick you out.
A week is still not a lot of time, though. I mean, I get it, but like.
Well, a week is out, but they can't kick. What I'm telling you, though, Beck, they can't kick you out in a week. They can't. That's against the law.
I'm going to get into our last topic, and then we have a game ready for you.
Okay, great.
One very simple question.
Okay.
What would you be willing, and this really tells me your motivation to become mayor.
Okay.
What would you be willing to give up to become mayor?
Wow. That's a tough one. Well, my family is the most important thing to me.
So you're not going to get rid of one of your 5 grandchildren?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I thought that was a lot of grandchildren. Maybe one was just going to...
But no, that's tough. My family is the most important thing to me. And I wouldn't be doing this if my wife wasn't on board, my family was on board. This is a partnership with her. And so before I got to run, I asked her, I said, hey, I'm going to run for mayor. Would you be inclined to me not to run, or are you on board? And she thought about it, and she said, I'm all in. So that's important to me. My children are all in.
You can't get rid of her.
I can't get rid of her.
No.
So that'll be a tough one. That's a tough one. That really is. That's a tough question. What would
when you told her you were running for mayor,
would it be your beard? Would you shave your beard?
I shave the beard. That's a good one. I shave the beard. Hey,
we haven't recorded it.
Bellew, I grow some hair.
Okay.
So, like Massimo was saying, we do have a little game plan. We're going to do at the end of the show.
Okay.
We do this little series on campus. It's called 3-second interviews.
Okay.
Basically, what we do is we sit down. We have someone sit down. They have 3 seconds to answer our interview question, and then they leave. But we have a couple just like rapid fire questions we'd like to ask you. You technically have 3 seconds to answer.
Just 3 seconds.
Just 3 seconds, but We can. You're a special guy. We can give you a little more time. 5 seconds.
Okay.
Maybe we'll do the 5 second.
Yeah, 5 second interviews.
Okay.
So that's basically the gist of it. I'll ask the first question.
Okay.
How do you vote?
Democrat.
Got it.
Good. That was
Yeah,
a good.
yeah.
That was a great answer. I thought he was going to go into explaining how voting goes.
Yeah, I still
Okay,
don't know how to
interesting.
vote, but now I know who to vote for. So.
Yeah. Yes or no question. Do you honk when frat guys have the "you honk, we drink" sign up?
No. No.
I do.
Oh, no.
I do.
No. And I'm in a fraternity, so no.
You were. So you were on the other side. You know how it feels to have people honking at you all day.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
This is going to be tricky.
Okay.
Name all 5 of your grandchildren.
Okay. Naraya.
Time is up. So we know who's your favorite now.
I got a
one.
2-year-old grandson, too. I should have named him.
What is your go-to tailgate spot?
The Court on South Campus.
Time is up. Beautiful. Fantastic.
That's very good. Okay. Say something nice about Tim Denson.
He's a nice guy.
All right, time's up.
That was very,
Very succinct.
on point. On point. How much can you bench?
It used to be bench 350. Probably 150.
Time is up. Could you bench Tim Denson?
I can outrun him.
Could you, like, if you were on the bench, lift him up?
Probably could. Probably could. Y'all forget I'm a former football player.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
you
no, I
must
got
be
him.
a strong guy. You must be a strong guy.
Okay. What is something you don't like about voters?
That they don't vote.
Good answer.
Beautiful. He's so good at this game. He might be the best.
When we do this on campus, people say the craziest things you've ever heard.
They can't, their neurons can't connect.
Yeah.
He's so ready on his feet. Will there ever be an AI mayor?
No.
That kind of sounds like somebody who's AI would say that.
Yeah, I feel like we could have an AI.
Are you AI?
I do AI.
No, are you AI?
No. I'm not AI.
You're real?
I'm a real deal.
You're a real deal?
I'm a real deal.
Do you use AI to write speeches?
I do not. You know, because for me, you got to use your own brain, so no.
How many do we have, Biggs? Oh, we have 2. We have 2?
We've kind of been going.
Oh, no,
down
we
the
have
order.
3. We have 3.
3 left?
3 left. Yes.
I don't know the order.
Okay, I'll go. I got one. What is something your wife cooks that you don't like?
Oh yeah.
Time is up. That was a good answer. That was a great answer. That might have been the greatest answer you gave all day. You know how many problems this man avoided today? With that silence?
That was really impressive.
Impressive.
Media,
That is experience right there, young folks.
media training.
That's how you deal with these questions.
I think we only have. Massimo, if I'm reading this, we only have 1.
No, we have 2. We have, look. Okay, you can look at it.
Okay, I won't look.
Oh right. Okay. Name a word that rhymes with Dexter.
Baxter.
All right. Cool.
Beautiful. He even said your name in it.
Yeah, you got it.
That's amazing. Last question. You have 5 seconds to answer. Fisher or Denson, who should people vote at the next election?
Dexter Fisher, the voice of reason.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much for coming on our show.
Thank you, guys.
Let's give a round of applause for Mr. Fisher. That's good. Thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. You're an amazing guest.
Appreciate it.